Hey there, folks, and welcome back to another venture in the game, Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Currently running through the main story as a means to unlock all of the side stories, and we are currently going through the Natsuki route, and the next route is Yuri, which should be the last one in that regard. But in the Natsuki route, as we were going through in the last episode, the club was planning who was going to do what as far as tasks to create the atmosphere for what they plan to do in participation with the school festival. So Natsuki in particular, she's going to make cupcakes, of course, her favorite thing to do, as she does like baking. And Yuri, they had a little bit of a tough time with it, particularly Monica, but eventually they did find something for her to do, and that was to create banners as a means to bring forth an atmosphere, to which I'm sure Yuri has some ideas in that regard as well, besides just the banners. But then, of course, with our character Sosuke, there was a contemplation as to what he would do in contribution for this event, to which it was mainly the idea of assistance. Now the question is, who would he choose to work with? And of course, looking at his options and the attitude surrounding those options, Natsuki. But being that this is the Natsuki route, we decide to show some courtesy, and we chose to help Natsuki, to Yuri's dismay. But Natsuki did show some promise in actually cheering up Yuri, which I thought was actually a good thing to do. So it appears that Natsuki's trying, which of course is always a good thing. With everything settled, the crew wraps up for the day, but not before Natsuki stops us and says, where you going? We have no way of contacting each other right now, so how are we supposed to meet up to do this assignment? So they swapped phone numbers, and of course she says, don't make it weird. Well, yeah, a guy having the number, blah, blah, blah. But our buddy Sosuke probably still has some common sense. I say some because he joined the literature club literally because he saw puppy eyes. So yeah, my character's not off the hook on this one. But anyways, they swap numbers and everything, and Natsuki's gonna meet us at our house, our main character's house, because apparently there is a no boy policy at the house of Natsuki, to her dismay. So with that, we are currently at the position of the day of Natsuki's arrival. So with that, let's cue up that scene and see where this goes throughout the sequences. It is already Sunday. I've been getting increasingly anxious about Natsuki's upcoming visit. I keep telling myself there's no reason to be nervous, but it doesn't help much. I wonder if she'll act any different when it's just the two of us. Meanwhile, she's been texting me a lot. We sent each other one after exchanging numbers to double check, but it turned into conversation. She's almost a different personality on the phone, using tons of emoji and cute language. She also really likes complaining about things, but I kind of saw that one coming. But putting Natsuki aside, I haven't heard a thing from Sayori since she left the club early the other day. It's not like we text each other all the time or anything, but I've been worried about her in the back of my head. Between what Sayori said and what Monica said, is it really okay for me to put Sayori's feelings aside when she might need me? I decide to visit Sayori before Natsuki comes over. Rather than asking, I simply tell her I'm coming over, much like we've done in the past. Once I reach Sayori's house, I knock on the door before entering it myself. Again, we used to play so often that we'd made a bit of a habit of simply entering each other's houses like we were family. The house is quiet. Sayori isn't anywhere on the first floor, so I assume she's up in her room. It's already strange of her not to run down and greet me. I head up to her bedroom where I finally find her. Sayori? And just a heads up, folks, it was mentioned in the earlier portions before the video really even started that this game contains certain scenes that can trigger certain dysfunctional issues, if you will. So we are actually coming up on one of those scenes. So if you are triggered by any forms of depression, I would advise that you skip this video. Hi, Sosuke, Sayori says. I sit down in her room. Sayori forces a smile, but it's easy to tell she's different. There's a minute of silence between us. You haven't come over like this in a long time, have you? Observed Sayori. I guess you're right. It has been a long time. Not much has really changed, has it? Sayori's room is as messy as it's always been. I also recognize the same stuffed animals and wall decorations that she's had for years now. If you came over more often, it wouldn't be such a mess. Oh, don't you start those excuses with me, young lady. Don't you start those excuses. That's because I end up cleaning it for you. How come you suddenly wanted to come over today? Asked Sayori. Aren't you supposed to see Natsuki today? Yeah, but... Wait, how did you know that? Sayori had already left by the time we decided the last meeting. Monica told me. It's only natural for her to keep me informed about the festival preparations, right? Yeah, that's true. But what about you? Aren't you going to be helping Monica today? Of course I am. But I'm just helping her online. We didn't plan to meet up or anything. So it's just me and Natsuki then. Yep. There's more silence between us. Sayori stares in a random direction. Everything about her behavior is really uncharacteristic. I finally get to the point. I just wanted to see how you were doing. After you left on Friday, when something's wrong, you can't hide it from me. I know you too well. So... Sayori smiles, shaking her head. That's no good, Sosuke, says Sayori. Oh? Why can't it just be like it always has been? This is all my fault. If I didn't get so weak and accidentally express my feelings, if I didn't make that stupid mistake, then you wouldn't have even worried about me to begin with. You wouldn't have come here. You would not have even been thinking about me right now. But this is just my punishment, isn't it? I'm getting punished for being so selfish. I think that's why the world decided to have you come over today. It just wants to torture me. Sayori. I grab Sayori by the shoulders. What on earth are you saying? Are you listening to yourself right now? I know something happened to you. There's no other explanation for you to be like this. So tell me already. Until I know, I won't be able to stop thinking about it. Sayori gives me an empty smile. You really put me in a trap, Sosuke. But you're wrong. Nothing happened to me. I've always been like this. You're just seeing it for the first time. Seeing what? What are you talking about, Sayori? You're really just going to make me say it, aren't you, Sosuke? I guess I have no choice this time. The thing is, I've really had bad depression my whole life. Did you know that? Why do you think I'm late to school every day? Because most days I can't even find a reason to get out of bed. What reason is there to do anything when I fully know how worthless I am? Why go to school? Why eat? Why make friends? Why make other people put their energy and caring to waste? Why make other people put their energy and caring to waste by having them spend it on me? That's what it feels like. And that's why I just want to make everyone happy, without anyone worrying about me. I'm in shock. I can't even figure out how to respond. How is it possible that Sayori kept this from me the entire time that I've known her? Did she really want so badly for me to just not think about her? Why, Sayori? Why is it that you never told me about this? It almost feels like I've been betrayed as your close friend. Because if I knew, I would have done everything I could to support you. Even if there's only so much that I could do. I would have tried a little bit harder to make every day a little better for you. That's why I'm your friend. All you had to do was tell me. You don't understand it at all, Sosuke, replied Sayori. Why do you think I did not tell you? Because if I told you, then you would have to waste effort caring about me instead of doing important things. I don't want to be cared about. It's bittersweet when people try to care about me. It feels nice sometimes, but it also feels like a bat being swung against my head. That's why I wanted so badly for you to make friends with everyone else. Helping everyone be happy together is the best thing for me. But then I discovered something else too. Seeing you make friends and get closer with everyone in the club, it feels like a spear going through my heart. So that's why I decided the world just wants to torture me. Every path leads to nothing but hurt. You're right that I don't understand. I don't understand your feelings at all, Sayori. But I don't need to understand. Whatever it takes for me to help you stop hurting, that's what I'll do. No, Sosuke, replied Sayori. There is nothing. Nothing at all. The only thing that could have helped is if everything could be like it always was. But I was selfish. I finally showed you what a horrible person I am. Tears streaked down Sayori's face. I made you join the literature club because I was selfish. And I was punished by my heart hurting in a way that I could not understand. And now you came here and I made you hurt too. I'm just weak and selfish. That's all I am. And that's why I'm going to accept these punishments. Because I deserve every last one. Without thinking, I once again grab Sayori's shoulders. This time I pull her into a tight embrace. And she's startled. Sosuke. Sayori. I don't care if you feel selfish. I'm really happy that you convinced me to join the club. Seeing you every day makes it worthwhile enough. If I make friends with everyone else, then that's just a bonus. But please never underestimate how much I care about you. I wouldn't have it any other way. Sosuke, replied Sayori. Sayori isn't hugging me back. Despite my arms being wrapped around her, Sayori's arms remain at her sides. She starts sobbing next to my ear. No. Don't do this to me. Please don't do this. Sosuke, said Sayori. Sayori barely manages to speak between her sobs. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but all I want is for her to know that I care. If you have it in you to call yourself selfish, then you have to let me be selfish too. No matter what it takes, I'll figure out what needs to change. I'll make these feelings go away. And if there's anything that you need me to do, then you better tell me. I'll get mad if you don't. I don't know, said Sayori. I don't know. Gently, Sayori finally puts her arms around me in return. I don't know anything. It's all really scary. I don't understand any of my feelings, Sosuke. The only time I'm not feeling nothing is when I'm feeling pain. But your hugs are so warm. That's really scary too. Sayori lets me go. As she does so, I let her go as well. The festival is tomorrow. Yeah. It's gonna be fun, right? Yeah. How would you like for me to spend it all with you? That's what I want. I promise. I think that would be nice then. Yeah. Sayori wipes her eyes. If I could spend the whole day here, I would. Of all days, this had to be the one where I had other plans. Maybe I should cancel. No, you do not. Don't you dare. If you did that, then I really would not forgive you. But it's almost time for Natsuki to meet me at my house. At the very least, do you want to come along and help out? It'd be fun. To my surprise, Sayori shakes her head. I'm sorry, said Sayori. I don't know if that would be very good for me today. You understand, right? She's in love with this kid. It's kind of hard for me to really understand, but I'm trying my hardest. It's okay, said Sayori. Don't worry about it too much. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? All right. I look forward to it. And let's pause here right quick. Ultimately, when it comes to stuff like this, we need a professional. We do not have the training in many cases to help people with a condition like this. So find a hotline related to depression, a depression hotline, a crisis prevention hotline, anything as such. And I'll leave a couple of numbers in the description below. But if you have a loved one who is going through something like this and they're not getting active treatment, and you see the condition worsening, you need to get professional help. Now, of course, if it's a friend who is maybe a minor as you or is a minor, you need to contact their parents or their guardian. Or again, call a crisis prevention hotline and get them as much information as you can. But do not try to handle this yourself. That may sound kind of far-fetched and it may sound kind of extreme, but the thing is, this can go downhill pretty fast. So seek professional assistance. I don't know where Sayori's parents are, but obviously they're not at the house. But yeah, professional assistance. All right, let's continue. I say goodbye to Sayori and exit the house. On the way home, I find myself still feeling uneasy. But it's hard for me to keep thinking about it when Natsuki is about to come over too. I think Sayori is right. I shouldn't be worrying too much, and we're definitely going to have a great time tomorrow. I should just focus on what's ahead of me. I spend only a few minutes back at home anxiously waiting for Natsuki's arrival. Before I know it, she texts me to let me know she's outside the front door. Without delay, I open the front door to let her in. Sup? Sup, homie? Yo. I don't know what I was expecting, but seeing Natsuki in something other than her school uniform totally threw me off. Seeing her in such cute clothes makes the uniform seem totally unfitting in comparison. Geez, don't make it feel so awkward already. It's gonna be a long afternoon, so don't be weird just because you're not used to seeing me outside of school. Anyway, I'm coming in. I see you brought a lot of stuff. Natsuki's carrying a large bag that is probably full of baking supplies. Well, I didn't come all this way to find out that your kitchen isn't equipped for the job. You bought everything I asked you to, right? Yep, I did. Yesterday, Natsuki asked me to buy a bunch of ingredients if I didn't already have them at the house. Good. Glad I could count on you to do your part. Do I look like some type of sleazebag to you? Anyways. Well, of course. I'm surprised to hear Natsuki suddenly say that, rather than something snarky like she always does. I don't know, that seemed, kinda snarky. Oh, with that snarky tooth of hers. Could it be that she is a little different outside of school after all? Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Anyway, let's go to the kitchen. What? You're not gonna offer to take this heavy bag away from me? Why? You strong? Carry it yourself. Where's your hospitality, Sosuke? Let me see. Providing my kitchen sink, my oven, and everything around this house, utilities and all that stuff. But no, I have no hospitality whatsoever. Anyways. Come on. Since when did I need to be a gentleman? You know what? He's already a gentleman. You're already a gentleman, Sosuke. I grab the bag Natsuki holds out to me. I'd have been like, you can carry it. You carried it this far. What's a few extra feet? And if she gets snarky about it, I'd be like, hey, you can go back home and do it yourself if you want. This is ridiculously heavy. You know what? If that's the case, grab a cart or grab some type of, what was it? One of those hand carts or something like that. I'm pretty sure it wasn't too far coming to your house. I don't like this. I carried that all the way here, and you can't carry it an extra 10, 15 feet? Are you impressed? Not really. I see now. Yeah, I'm impressed, Natsuki. Looking for that attention and validation. Looking for that validation. It seems like I always underestimate you. Again, that validation. It's like, look, you already have validity. Why you gotta get external validity? It's because I'm so small, isn't it? No, it's because you're in shape. You jerk. Natsuki hits a fist into my chest. Probably just a, you know. Hey. Your size has nothing to do with it. Do you really hate being small that much? It's not like I hate it. I mean, sometimes I like proving people wrong when they only think I'm worth my size. Did I think that? Exactly. So it sounded like you just trying to pick a fight. It's fun when I get to be small and also better than other people. Sound like you got some confidence problems. But, geez, never mind. Yeah, I think you realized that you were digging your own hole. What are you making me say? Blame shifting, another red flag. Don't think you can make me talk about weird things just because we're not at school. Again with this blame shifting nonsense. Are we getting started or what? There's a lot of stuff I gotta teach you. You're the one who's leading the project. Get in there and show me. What? That's a little bit more like you. You're more fun when you speak your mind like that. Hey! Now you're treating me like a kid. You kinda acting like one. What do you expect? I was just trying to be a little nicer to you, you know. I don't know. Seemed borderline to me. And just because I don't have a mature and very voluptuous figure like Yuri doesn't mean you should treat me like... Natsuki catches her words and her face turns red. Natsuki. Forget it! I didn't say anything. Yes, you did, Grasshopper. I should apologize. No, you should not. Don't you dare. Huh? I appreciate that you were trying to be nicer. You should have been done that, buddy. I should have been a little more considerate, too. Well, if she was properly nice to begin with, this issue wouldn't have been what it is now. I mean, if you want to commend her for that, that's fine, but still, come on. But also, If that's what you're thinking, then you should know that there are tons of guys who are into body types like yours. How would you know that anyway? Just trust me on this one. Gross. Hey! Was that to me? Who else? Let's just get started already. You get all sour when a girl calls you gross. Okay, let's call you gross. Hey, you're gross. Your attitude's gross, your demeanor's gross. How do you like it? I finally found your weakness. And that's something to be proud of? Natsuki smiles deviously. Please spare me. Well, if Natsuki decides to dish out more insults like that, there's no way I'm not fighting back. You better fight back. But she's satisfied enough for now, finally starting to pull things out of her bag so we can get started. Before long, the whole kitchen is a mess. Spoons, dirty bowls, flour, spilled fluid, and plastic bags are strewn about everywhere on the countertop. Looks all clean to me. The mixer isn't big enough to make all the batter at once, so we've had to do it several times. Meanwhile, Natsuki is babysitting all of my movements to make sure I don't mess up her precious baking. Sosuke, where did you put the food coloring? The batter's going in the oven soon, so I need to fill the trays. I think it's still in the bag next to the table. What are you using it for? To color the batter, of course. I'm making each tray a different color. That way, even if the flavors aren't different, everyone can still pick their favorite. Ah, that's a cool idea. Are we doing anything like that with the icing? Do you want to? You're asking me? I don't really have a preference, so... Oh, come on. You're not putting any heart into this at all. Can't you at least try to have fun? I am having fun. I'm not really sure what Natsuki is trying to get out of me. Meanwhile, I see her separate the batter into smaller bowls and put a few drops of food coloring into each. Ah, that does look pretty cool. See? It's not like baking is just about following instructions. The presentation is where you get to be creative and have the most fun. It's a million times more worth it in the end if just looking at it makes everyone's eyes lighten up. Like the ones you made on my first day? I recall Natsuki proudly presenting her cat-shaped cupcakes and Sayori and Monika's delighted expressions. I wonder if I can make Natsuki proud like that too. Yeah. Maybe I'll use the food coloring then. Sounds like you're starting to understand. Just make sure you completely finish mixing the icing before you mess with the food coloring. Yeah, it's getting there. We were using the electric mixer for the batter, so I got stuck with a whisk and a huge bowl for the icing. Oh? The icing's still all lumpy. Are you even trying? Well, yeah. It'll just take a little longer. Jeez, I'll be here all night if you do it like that. Here, look. Natsuki grabs the whisk from me and uses her other hand to tilt the bowl back. You really need to beat the crap out of it. After a few seconds, the consistency of the icing has already improved. See? As if to empathize, Natsuki sticks a finger into the icing and pops it in her mouth. I reluctantly start to do the same and watch her slap your hand. Hey! Natsuki suddenly grabs my wrist. I don't want your gross fingers in my icing. Oh, really? And where have your hands been? Your icing, huh? Are you forgetting who did all the work? I start to fight back, trying to inch my finger toward the bowl. Don't make me beat the crap out of you next. You do realize this is my kitchen. I got plenty of defensive weapons here. I'd like to see you try. I push harder just enough for my finger to reach the icing. I triumphantly scoop some with my finger just as Natsuki tugs with all her might. Ah! The force of Natsuki pulling me causes me to stumble, making her stumble in turn. Knowing how stories go, I'd say most likely we're probably going to get a little bit of an image here, but you know what? We'll save that for the next time. Oh, that's a cliffhanger if there ever was one. Oh my gosh, I'm bad for that. But ultimately, folks, again, when you got issues with someone who is going through a mental condition, get professional assistance. Don't try to handle that yourself. And in the case of Natsuki, yeah, at this point, let's just get this over with. But anyways, I want to thank everyone for watching this video this time around. If you enjoyed it, maybe consider leaving a like. And if you haven't already and you would like to see more, maybe consider subscribing and be sure to click on the bell icon to activate notifications so you can be alerted for the next set of productions to be released. And until next time, happy mixing, everyone.